Do you know when to double after the first sequence at 4-away, 2-away? If not, keep watching because that's the topic of this video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. If you love backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. In this video, I'm discussing doubling after an opening 3-1 at 4-away, 2-away, after the first sequence of the game. So first, we'll discuss the opening 3-1. That's the strongest opening roll because it makes the 5-point. Owning more innerboard points increases your gammon wins. It also unstacks the 6-point, one of the primary liabilities in the opening position. This is the opening position with a 3-1 to play. I'm showing you all the positions on a beautiful FTH board. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get them. So with a 3-1, you make the 5-point, and that results in this position. You can't see the final position, but you can see the analysis here. I've enlarged it here. So you make the 5.8565. After this, you're winning 56% of the time with 18% gammons, and your equity is already to 0.254, a quarter of a point, starting at 0. So this is the strongest opening roll. Now, we need to understand a little bit about match play. Match play is different from money play or unlimited. In a money game or an unlimited game, it's not played to a goal score. You can win or lose an unlimited number of times of the stakes without a maximum. You just stop whenever you want to stop. In contrast, in a match, the goal is to reach a designated score. Winning additional points has no extra value. That's important to remember. Next, I'll discuss the away score. I've discussed many of these topics in other videos, so I'll go through them briefly. The absolute score refers to the number of points each player has, whereas the away score refers to the number of points each player needs to win the match. For example, if you trail 3-1 in a 5-point match, you have 1 point, so you are 4 away from winning the match because 5 minus 1 is 4. The opponent has 3 points, so your opponent is 2 away from winning the match because 5 minus 3 is 2. Therefore, your away score is 4 away, 2 away, sometimes abbreviated 4A, 2A. So that's the score we're going to be discussing in this video. This is a match equity table. I've discussed this again in other videos, so I'll go through it for you briefly. This displays your match winning chances for any score in a 5-point match. So your away score is on the left from 5 away to 1 away Crawford and 1 away post Crawford. The opponent's away score is at the top, again from 5 away at the right to 1 away Crawford and 1 away post Crawford at the far left. So at 4 away, 2 away, this is the cell that we're going to look at that shows you your match winning chances. So you are at 4 away, so that corresponds to this row here. And your opponent is at 2 away, so that corresponds to this column here. So at 4 away, 2 away, your match winning chances are 33%. That means your opponents are 67%. Of course, assuming equal playing strength. Now, doubling as the trailer at 4 away, 2 away happens very frequently. And when I say doubling at 4 away, 2 away, we're assuming you're the trailer because your score is said first. So doubling at 4 away, 2 away does a couple of things that are really important. Number one, it kills the cube, and number two, it kills the leader's gammon. So what does that mean? Killing the cube. Cube ownership has an inherent value because you have sole access to the cube and you may redouble later. So that's what happens in the money game. If you take a cube, you can continue playing and then you can redouble later, as long as, of course, it's not the last roll of the game. However, this is not possible when you own a 2 cube at 2 away. The cube is dead. The cube is killed. You may not turn the cube. So you lose that value of owning the cube that you would have otherwise had at a different score or in a money game. So that's very important when you're talking about doubling at 4 away, 2 away. The other thing doubling does when you're the trailer and double at 4-way, 2-way is it kills gammons. So gammons normally win twice as many points as a single win. However, those extra points for winning a gammon on a 2 cube at 2-away have no additional value because winning a single game wins you the match anyway. So winning a gammon doesn't give you anything additional. Unlike in a money game where you would get 4 points instead of 2 points, you get to the same goal. Gammon value is an important term to understand. I've done an entirely different video discussing it, so I won't go through it in detail. You can watch those other videos, but I'll go through it in brief. Gammon value refers to the gain from turning a single win into a gammon relative to the loss from turning a single win into a single loss. It's an indicator of how aggressive to double. It's also an indicator of how aggressive you want to play with the checkers. But in this video, we're talking about doubling. The gammon value depends on both the score and the cube level. And this is in a match. In a money game, the gammon value is always 0.5, irrespective of the score and irrespective of the cube value. But it differs in a match, so that's very important to understand. This is how gammon value is calculated. So first we're going to look at a center cube at 4 away, 2 away. So at 4 away, 2 away, we start here with the cell that's highlighted in dark gray. Okay, if you win a single game, you win 1 point. So you get to 3 away and your opponent is still at 2 away. So now you're here at this cell and your match winning chances are 40%. Okay, now if you win a gammon on a center cube, which is allowed in a match, you win 2 points. So you get from 4 away to 2 away, and your opponent's still at 2 away. So you're going to be here, and of course, when both players are 2 away, the match winning chance is 50%. So the gain on winning a gammon going from 40 to 50 is 10%, and that's here at the upper right in green. 50 minus 40 is 10. Now, what happens if you lose a single game? Then you'll be at 4 away, 1 away, but it will be the Crawford game for this cell, and your match winning chances are 19%. So how much is there a difference between winning a single game and losing a single game? So you want to know the difference between 40 and 19, which is here in the lower left in red. 40 minus 19 equals 21. So the gammon value is calculated by dividing these two numbers. So 10 divided by 21, which is 0.463. I put approximately here. The reason for that is because all these values here are rounded to the nearest integer or whole number, just so I can put them on the table easier. But when you use the unrounded numbers, it comes out to precisely 0.463. So your gammon value on a center cube at 4 away, 2 away is 0.463. Now let's look at what happens on a 2 cube. So now we're looking at a 2 cube. Again, you start at the same score, 4 away, 2 away, here. Now, if you win a single game, now you're going to win 2 points because the cube is on 2. So you'll reach 2 away, which is, again, 50%. If you win a gammon on a 2 cube, you're going to win 4% and you're going to win the match. So that's going to be 100%, which is not shown here. But 100% minus 50% is 50. So that's shown here. 100 minus 50 is 50. Now, what happens when you lose a single game on a 2 cube? If you lose a single game on a 2 cube, when the opponent is 2 away, you lose the match. So you'll have 0% match winning chances, which is also not shown here. So the difference between 50 and 0 is here. At the lower left, 50 minus 0 is 1. So the gammon value is 50 divided by 50, which is precisely 1. That's much higher than what it was on the center cube. Again, on the center cube, it was 0.463. It's more than double on a 2 cube. Now let's calculate the gammon value on a center cube for the leader. For the leader, you start over here. You're at 2 away and the opponent is at 4 away for this cell here. at 67%. If you win a single game, you get to 1-away, 4-away Crawford for 81%. If you win a gammon on a center cube, you get to 100%. You win the match, and that's also not shown here. But 100 minus 81 is 19, which is shown here in green on the upper right. If you lose, you get to 2-away, 3-away, which is here highlighted in red for 60%. So the difference between 81 and 60 is here in red on the lower right. 81 minus 60 is 21. So the gammon value for the leader at 2-away, 4-away on a center cube is 19 divided by 21, which is approximately 0.864. It's precisely 0.864 when you use the non-rounded numbers. Now, let's look at it on a 2 cube. So on a 2 cube, again, you start here at 2-away, 4-away. When you win a single game, you win the match for 100%. And if you win a gammon, you still win the match for 100%. So 100 minus 100 is 0. If you lose a single game, you're at 50%. Here, 2-away, 2-away. So 100 minus 50 is 50, which is shown here in red. So what is that? 0 divided by 50 is 0, right? Because, again, there is no value of winning a gammon, no additional value of winning a gammon as compared to a single game when you are at 2-away on a 2 cube, because a single game wins the match anyway. So we saw the difference in the gammon value going from a center cube to a 2 cube as the trailer. Now let's look at what happens as the leader. On a center cube, your gammon value is 0.864, and on a 2 cube, it becomes 0. So that's part of the reason why you want to double. Okay, at 4-away, 2-away, when the cube gets turned, the trailer's gammons become much more valuable, while the leader's gammons have no value. So that's a very important reason to double very early at 4-away, 2-away. Now, we're going to look at the doubling decision after the first sequence, after you roll a 3-1, and then after the opponent rolls another number. So again, we've rolled a 3-1, and in this case, the opponent has rolled a 6-5, and it's always going to be 4-away, 2-away. You can see your score here at the lower right, and the opponent's score is at the upper right. This will always be 4-away, 2-away in this discussion. So here in the analysis, you see you're winning 53% of the time with 18% gammons. Your equity is 584 millipoints for double take, and it's a 6 millipoint error to not double, but it is a comfortable take. So you see, normally in a money game, to adjust for your gammons, you take half of the difference of the gammons and backgammons and add that to your winning percentage to get an equity value. However, at this score, these count double. So you don't do half this. You just 18%. And this is multiplied by 0 because the gammon value is 0. So now your virtual winning chances are about 70%. Okay. And if you lose a single game, it doesn't matter. And if you lose a gammon, it doesn't matter. It's the same. So this is a double after a 6-5. Now we'll go through all of the replies. Here with a 6-4, the correct reply is here. Now it's a big double, but still a take. After a 6-3, it's correct to run, and also it's a big double, and your equity is really high. Again, you're winning a lot of gammons. After a 6-2, the correct play is to split, and again, it's a big double, but still a take. Now 6-1 is the next non-doublet. We're going through all the non-doublets first, followed by the doublets. Here, the opponent has made a blocking point. So I didn't mention this, but we're playing the yellow checkers at the bottom, the opponent the black checkers at the top, bearing off on the right. And here, after the blocking point, it's actually a no double, and it's a small no double. It's close to a double. Okay, after the 6-1. So you play 3-1, the opponent plays 6-1, and it's a small no double. It's not an error. It's not a big error at all to double here. Now let's look at the fives. After 5-4, play 2 down, and now your equity is 859, and it's a double, and it's a comfortable take. After a 5-3, even though the opponent has made an inner-board point, it's still an error not to double, so it's still a double. What about after 5-2? Now you have a strong position, and it's a big double, but a big take. Similarly, with against the 5-1, it's a big double, but still a take. Against the 4-3, where it's correct to split, it's a big double and also a big take. Against the 4-2, where the opponent's made an interboard point, it's just barely a borderline double. So even though the positions are almost equal, each player has a second interboard point, it's still a borderline double. Against the 4-1, this is a strong double, but still a comfortable take. These are all takes because it's very early in the game. Should it be later and it'd be a much more gammonish position where you're losing a lot of gammons, then you would have to highly consider passing the cube. Now this is the 3-2 where it's correct to play 2 up. It's a strong double, but still a take. Against the 3-1, see now the position is equal, and it's a no double, but not a huge no double. It's only a 20 millipoint error to double. Against the 2-1, it's a double and a take. Now let's look at the doublets. Against the double six is huge. Okay, so now it's a blunder to double. Now you don't want to double. Okay, so this is the first time we saw a huge no double. Against the double 5, this places the checkers in an awkward place. It kind of front loads everything, strips the midpoint, and this becomes a double, but still a take. Double 4, you make the 5 point also, but you're making it from the midpoint, so there are extra checkers in the zone. So now it becomes a 40 millipoint error to double. You're still a favorite, but it's not a double here. Double 3 is 2 up, 2 down. Now, black is not losing as many gammons at all because of this anchor. So it's a blunder to double. With the double 2, in contrast to the 4-2, you made the 4 point with 2 checkers from the 6 point. So you retain a spare here. In addition, the 2 checkers that have moved up here provide an anchor, and that decreases the gammons. So this is a blunder to double. Against the double 1, similarly, as compared to the 3-1, you make the 5 point with 2 checkers from the 6 point, retaining a spare on the 8 point and splitting the back checkers to allow for the possibility of making an advanced anchor, which will decrease the gammon losses. So now it's also a blunder to double. Okay, so this chart shows your equity after you roll an opening 3-1, making the 5 point, and then after the opponent rolls any number, double 1, 2-1, 3-1, and so forth for all of these. And this shows you your equity value after the opponent does that. So all these values that we saw, the double values, the double equity, the Q full equity, that's what this displays. So you saw, remember, against, for example, the 6-3 and 6-2, your equity was really high, it's 0.877, but it was very low against the double 6, negative 0.228. So this is on a color scale from blue to red. Blue is good, red is bad. The darker the blue, the better. The darker the red, the worse. So you can see your equity is positive after all of these, except for the double 6. It's not as positive against double 3, but it's still positive. Now this one shows the doubling decision. So you've played a 3-1, and then your opponent makes a play. Again, double 1, 2-1, 3-1, and so forth. Now this shows only the doubling decision. So if it's a correct double, the cell will be blue. If it's a no double, it will be a red. And the intensity of the color is proportional to the magnitude of how correct it is to double or not double. So we saw it's a big double after the opponent rolls a 6-3, and it's a big no double when the opponent rolls a double 6. So from this, you can see the double 6 is where you don't want to double, as well as double 3, double 2, double 1. Double 4 is small, okay? And the 3-1 is small, and the 6-1 is a small no double. It's negative. Everything else is blue. So the purpose of this was to demonstrate when you want to double after you roll an opening 3-1 after all of your opponent's possible replies. So in summary, the times when you do not double It's a small no double after a 3-1 and 6-1, and it's a big no double after double 6, double 4, double 3, double 2, and double 1. However, against all the other rolls, you want to double. What about the take decision? That's pretty simple. The leader has a take after any of these responses, and we're only talking about when the trailer opens with a 3-1 and then the leader replies and then the doubler takes at 4-away, 2-away. So the question is, why not wait to double as the trailer? This is a good question. The answer is because you have the possibility of winning the entire match in a single game with a gammon on a 2 cube, or tying the score with a single win. In summary, 3-1 is the strongest opening roll. It makes the 5 point that increases your single wins and your gammon wins. 4-away, 2-away is a unique score. On a 2 cube, the trailer's gammons become much more valuable while the leader's gammons are killed. Doubling also kills the cube, so the leader will have no value of owning the cube. In contrast, in a money game or at different scores, you would be able to redouble, so you would have an inherent value in terms of owning the cube, but here it becomes killed, so you lack that value, and that's very important. After an opening 3-1 at 4-away, 2-away, double unless the reply is very strong, like double 6, double 4, double 3, double 2, double 1, or 3-1 and 6-1. The other point making rolls like 4-2, 5-3, you can still double. So that was a discussion of when to double after the opening sequence when you roll an opening 3-1 at 4-away, 2-away. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. If you love Backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and until then, keep rolling your dice.